what's up, Giants fans, Hub watchers, YouTube subscribers, Twitter and Instagram followers? It's your boy Noname back at it again with another New York Giants video. Welcome back, guys. What's up? How are y'all doing? First and foremost, thank you to all my subscribers and viewers for the support that you guys consistently show me. There's already another suggestion box up for this week's suggestion video, so make sure you go over there into the community notes and check it out. If you're not subscribed already, hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, share it everywhere, and let's get into it. So, do the New York Giants have a culture problem? I was literally just sitting back, I was talking with one of my subs, and this guy, he suggested to me, based off of my last video where I said the Giants, if they're gonna look for other free agents, one of the free agents I listed that they could look at in the wide receiving department would be Demaryius Thomas, and then he threw out the name Josh Gordon, right? Flash Gordon, Josh Gordon. He threw out that name, and immediately I started to say no, because I'm like, well, not only is Flash Gordon a little bit old, but Flash Gordon is also a culture problem for any team that he goes into. And yeah, now with the new CBA and whatnot, the new collective bargaining agreement, and how the NFL is dealing with marijuana and weed now, it's a lot more lenient. And don't quote me on this, but I'm pretty sure if it's legal in their state that the players could use it. So for Josh Gordon, that's good in terms of him, but he still has issues that need to be sorted out. The fact that he's addicted to it and that he can't quit it. So I was like, no, I don't want that on the team. I don't want another distraction. But immediately another thing that popped into my mind as I was saying that was, well, we kind of have a culture problem right now. Josh Gordon would be the least of our worries if we bring him in there, because we have to sort through our own stuff. And it's very weird because over the past 2 years or so, Dave Gettleman and both of the coaching staffs that he's been equipped with, both the Pat Shermer one and this new Joe Judge one, the regime has been trying since 2018 to sort of reset the Giants culture and get rid of their quote-unquote culture problems. And they've done that for the most part up until, it seems, last month. I mean, they got rid of guys like Janoris Jenkins, Eli Apple, Landon Collins. I don't think Damon Snacks Harrison was a culture problem. I wholly believe he was a good leader on that defense and on the team in general. But they got rid of him more so for age. And of course, the biggest name that the Giants got rid of, and heavily connected to this topic of whether or not we have a problem in the locker room, was Odell Beckham Jr. And I remember the quote is not exactly in my head right now, but there was an interview when I think the interviewer asked Gettleman if getting rid of Odell helped the locker room, or if getting rid of Odell signified getting rid of the culture problem, and Gettleman just smiled or something like that. Another thing where it's like, don't quote me exactly, but you guys know what I'm talking about. The fans that have been rocking with the channel, or any Giants channel for that matter, for a while now, this was a topic covered heavily. And it just seems that all that comes crashing down when DeAndre Baker gets into the case that he gets in. Whether or not he's innocent, it doesn't matter. The fact of the matter is that he's in that situation, and it's a massive distraction for the locker room. And it's definitely shows that he had bad judgment to even end up where he ended up, leading to the question of culture problem. It definitely shows when Aldrich Rosas is out here drunk driving on a suspended license, crashing into people at high speeds, and then tries to walk away from the scene or whatever the situation was. It definitely shows that there's some culture problems here. And I never like to use this excuse. I will bring it up though, because it's very possible. The idea that NFL players right now, some of them are missing structure in their lives because they don't have these off-season programs, and maybe they need that to keep them occupied. The reason I don't like bringing them up is because A, they're adults, they're grown men, they're adults. They shouldn't need something to have, they shouldn't need a program to help keep them occupied. It's not like it's the military where everything is engraved into your brain, and that's when it's legitimate that people come back, and vets, they have a hard time readjusting to life, because it's not as structured as what they're used to. This is not the military, this is football. That's the first thing. And the second thing, also, unlike the military, that's not their everyday life in the off season. In the off season, they're chilling, they're doing whatever they want, and it's only for a couple of months maybe, or a couple of days out of the week that they're actually going into the training facilities and whatnot and having their time occupied by football and by their job. So I don't like to use that as an excuse, but it's definitely a logical one for some of them, for maybe some of these guys who do rely on it, some of these guys who didn't grow up in the best households, and maybe this is what they rely on. Who knows? Maybe that's what Aldrich Rosas was missing. DeAndre Baker is a whole other situation. He's had certain concerns about him since last year, since his rookie year. But getting back to the main question here, do we have a culture problem? I would be lying to you guys if I said I would completely answer no. You know, I would be completely sure of my answer and no. My answer to the question is I don't know, because I can't say no with the examples of Baker and Rosas, but I also can't say yes, because with the example of Baker and Rosas, part of me really does think Baker was caught in the wrong situation. It comes back to me saying he had to be stupid to get in that situation. Rosas is a completely different thing. I think Rosas, like, you already know my opinion on that. He should be off the team. But these are two guys that kind of came out of the blue with these problems at this time of the year, you know, in this crazy pandemic, in this time where, you know, they're going stir crazy and whatnot. Part of me wants to think that, hey, maybe it's just they literally were just making stupid decisions. They had nothing else better to do. And the Giants they cleaned house. And when I mean cleaned house, you guys know what I'm talking about. You think about the 2018 offseason when they cleaned out basically half of the team. You talk about this 2019 offseason where they got rid of the remaining threads. You know, they cut the loose ends in Janoris Jenkins and whatnot. It's like they cleaned house. And I'm like, if they really just went to those lengths to get rid of a lot of players, how in the world did they miss these guys? Baker, understandable, he's a rookie. They probably didn't want to get rid of him. They're like, he's young, they can mold him a little bit. Rosas, however, while he might be young, he's a kicker. You could get rid of him if you need to. I'm really thinking, do we actually have a problem that needs to be addressed in the locker room? And it's weird because even if there is something that needs to be addressed, it's not going to be addressed because the coaches can't directly communicate with the players. You're through a screen, and that's never going to be as effective as an in-person, one-to-one type of talk, one-to-one type of meeting. And then there's the whole conversation on whether if the Giants should have gotten rid of these players, even if they were, you know, some bad apples in the locker room. Should they have gotten rid of Odell, our best receiver and one of the best in the league? Should they have gotten at Collins, who at the time was one of the best strong safeties in the league? Should they have gotten rid of Jenkins? And, you know, it goes on and on, because it hasn't led to any winning. Now, this is not my personal opinion. You guys, you know me. I think it takes time to build a winning team, and it takes time for players to develop. But it's a legitimate argument to be made that we got rid of some of our best players because they were bad apples in the locker room. And now the conversation is kind of coming back up because of recent events. Well, getting rid of them certainly led to more losing than it did to, you know, more winning. So was it even the right decision on Gettleman's part? And it's certainly, more than anything, just putting more and more pressure on this GM here. And I'm a Dave Gettleman supporter. I'm not a Dave Gettleman fan or stan by any means. I'm also not a Dave Gettleman hater. I love to be realistic. I think the guy, this actually came up in my stream last night. Somebody asked me what would I give Dave Gettleman, you know, his grade as the Giants GM, and I said I'll give him a solid B. His drafts are always A+, and his free agencies are like a C. His 2018 free agency, the beginning of it, where he released a lot of players, kind of going back to the purge, I can blame him for some of those because I didn't want to let go of Romeo Okwara and a couple other players on the defense, but I can't exactly blame him for the signings at hand, such as Nate Solder and whatnot, because of the situation they were in terms of player needs and the situation they were in terms of cap space. And then 2019 free agency, you know, it really has yet to play out to see how it goes, but I have a lot more confidence in what they've done this year in 2020 as opposed to any year before. So I was like, I'll give him a solid B. But then things like this come up, and he's just like, without a doubt, he's on more pressure now than ever before. I mean, the guy almost lost his job along with Pat Shurmur just a couple months ago. Had to convince owners to give him another chance. And, you know, basically he's telling the media, you know, he's telling owners as well that this is a good team. They're a good, clean culture. Then all of a sudden, two guys get arrested. And, you know, people are going to be looking at you sideways. So you're going to keep these guys, but you let go of what was one of the best players at the time in Odell. You let go of a good leader on the defense in Snacks. You definitely let go of a leader and a good player in Landon Collins. Not great, you know, not worth that contract he got. But you're going to keep these guys in DeAndre Baker and possibly Aldrich Rosas. I mean, I would have cut Rosas by now. I don't know why he's still on the team. And it brings back up the question. Gettleman is just getting more pressure and pressure. And I am seriously considering now if there is some type of culture problem in the locker room. I would love to think that there isn't. But the fact that we got two incidents here suggests that there's something there. Let me know what you guys think. Put your comments down below. something that's been swirling in my mind for a while now, and I'm out. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share. I'll catch y'all in the next one.